Hi guys, welcome back for another video. As promised, this is a study with me vlog, and I just got my new camera in the mail a couple of days ago, so I am using that camera to film this video. So as you can probably tell, the quality is much better, and I am able to now film at an angle where you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So hopefully this is more useful for you guys. I just want to mention in this video I will be doing a whole bunch of sequencing logic games. I have been reviewing this section in my course syllabus for a while now, but I am kind of just repeating these games until I get them down pat. So I have done these games before, but I am redoing them, and you will see that I'm using transparencies, so that I will also link down below. I got a pack of like 100 of them from Amazon for very cheap, and I also got the expo markers as well off of Amazon, so I will link that stuff down below. But basically I saw this idea from a different YouTuber. I wish I could remember her name, but I don't right now. But shout out to her. She, instead of printing out several pages of the same games, she figured out that this was much easier and you can kind of just follow along and lay it right over your game. And that way you can use the same game to practice over and over and over again without having to print out so many pieces of paper. And we all know that ink can be very, very expensive, so we ain't got time for that. I've been loving the strategy so far because, like I said, this is probably my third time doing this game, and I kind of just erase and go again, erase and go again. And this, even though it seems counterintuitive, really helps me kind of drill the inferences into my head. And I also erase my answers. I mark my answers in pencil so that I am able to erase them. So yeah guys, this is what you will be seeing me do. I will be doing game boards, rules, all of that stuff. Please keep in mind that I am not an expert. This is why I'm studying, and I'm also not timing myself. I'm taking my time because I'm still trying to get down my strategies. I am not timing myself, so please refrain from leaving comments telling me how horrible I'm going to do on the test. So here what you see me doing is usually something that I always do before I begin any logic game. In this case I forgot, but you see me go back and do it, and I list the order in which I'm going to answer the questions, and that order is usually catch a clue, restricted, unrestricted, and modifiers. And for anyone who is familiar with the exam, you know this strategy. It kind of helps you cheat the system and do easy questions first. Catch a clue is the easiest of them all because you can use the rules as they are to kind of catch a mistake or a violation of the rules in the answer questions and eliminate accordingly. Restricted questions are any of the questions that appear with the question stem. If G is in 5, then which one of the following can be true, or which one of the following cannot be true, etc. An unrestricted question is one that doesn't really give you much information. It may say which one of the following statements cannot be true, or any other variation of the question stem. And then finally, modifiers is the hardest one because they usually change one of the original rules or substitute and make you hold everything else constant. So you kind of have to rework your game board. So that's what you see me doing here. Okay, so here we are, finally a new game. That last one took me way, way, way too long. Sometimes it takes me a minute to kind of get into the groove of studying. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but sometimes I'm like in a fog and it kind of takes me a minute to wake up my brain. So apologies for that ridiculously long game. Anyways, this is another sequencing game, and this is just different because it's a board game versus a chain game. A chain game is one in which you are connecting the elements by arrows, and their position is kind of relative, and they can kind of float and change. This one is a one-to-one ratio sequencing, so there are 7 elements, 7 slots, hence one-to-one ratio. And again, their position is relative to each other, but here they kind of go into spaces and they're not floating around. So here I'm just setting up my board game, making inferences. It took me a little too long to do that. Um, but again, you see me at the top corner doing the list of how I'm going to answer the questions and kind of making myself a little list to remind myself. Yes, the answers are marked. Here, I really just wanted to practice doing the actual board game and the inferences and see if I got the questions right. So most of these I did last week when I was studying after work, and I'm kind of just reviewing and going through the motions again. So So another little thing I wanted to mention, in the bottom left corner of my transparency, you can see that I keep the list of all the answer choices that I've already worked out and already have done. And I do that in case I get questions where it's an unrestricted question. They can say, which one of the following cannot be true? Or they can say, what is the earliest that J can appear in the sequence, or any number of things. And it's really helpful to kind of have my choices already there so I can reference that work I've already done to quickly eliminate false answers or things that cannot be true. Um, this way I don't have to rewrite everything and rethink of the options that I have already done previously and waste my time rewriting those out. I keep them, well, here I'm writing very big, but usually I would keep them very small on the corner of the paper, and that way I don't have to redo anything.